यही मैं कहाँ जाऊंगा? तेरह हो भाई, मैं आ गया सर। आप तो भाई हमें लगती है थोड़ा सा ऊपर कीजिए प्लीज।
काटना होता आ जाएगा टाइम पे।
अरे यार मैं तो यही हूँ।
वो ले लेना बाद में क्लास के बाद।
कहाँ से शुरू करना? MIS से। Good morning, learners and viewers. Welcome to the session of Information System for Managers, MMPC 008. Today, we will be discussing about block 2, 3, and 4. We will be continuing with where we left yesterday. That is, we were talking about MIS. The organization system is an open system, and MIS should be so designed that it highlights the changes to the concerned level in the organization so that action can be taken to correct the situation. The designer of the MIS should take care of the data problems. The input data to the MIS may contain bias and error. The inputs to the MIS must be controlled to ensure impartiality, reliability, and consistency. If the organization culture provides sufficient incentives for efficiency and result, the MIS should provide information that will aid the promotion of efficiency. If the organization is an open system, then MIS should be designed to highlight critical changes in the system or in its environment. An analysis of the company's key success variables can be done only after a thorough understanding of the company's operations. Consultants and vendors who do not spend adequate time in the understanding the operations are unlikely to throw up application areas, which will create maximum impact. They are likely to suggest off-the-shelf applications. One should use standard softwares which is available for such applications. For a company getting into automation using information system, a list of applications would have to be generated, keeping in view the future perspective, at least for 5 years, on the basis of which a suitable configuration would be decided. However, the development and implementation of the applications would have to be done in phased manners. The first few applications must be those which can create an impact on the performance of the organization, are quick to implement with the least amount of changes in the existing procedures and systems. What are the factors facilitating implementation of MIS? A few factors which will increase the chances of a successful implementation of MIS are involvement of top master in the computerization effort, in defining the purpose and goals of computers within the organization, selection of an IT manager who is well versed with IT tools and also have the skills to involve managers in choosing application areas, identifying information needs, and designing reports. A computer staff which has interdisciplinary skills in computers, master and operation research, a balanced expenditure on hardware and software. Now let us look into the role of MIS at various master levels. A manager usually performs the following functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordination, feedback, reporting, and budgeting. Master can also be seen as structured into three hierarchical levels, namely top level, middle level, and bottom level, or strategic, tactical, and operations levels, respectively. Although lines of demarcation are not absolute and clear cut, one can usually distinguish certain layers within the organization which are characterized by the classical pyramid of structure. Top master establishes the policies, plans, and objectives of the company, as well as budget framework under which the various departments will operate. These factors are promulgated and passed down to middle master. They are translated into cost or profit center concept. These are reviewed, analyzed, and modified in accordance with the overall plans and policies until agreement is reached. Middle master then issues the specific schedules and measurement yardsticks to the operational master. The operational levels has the responsibility of producing goods and services to meet the revenue, profit, and other goals, which in turn will enable the organization achieves its overall end objectives. The hierarchical view of master is important for two reasons. Information need tends to be different at different levels of master, and the amount of time devoted to any given function varies considerably with the level. In the context of MIS, master can perhaps be best defined as a process of selection of objectives, judicious allocation of resources, determining operational plans and schedules, keeping control of progress, and evaluation through feedback. Each of these areas requires certain decisions to be made. Organization and information system are two-way relationship. A system is an assembly of elements arranged in a logical order to achieve certain objectives. An organization is also a system. H. J. Leavitt advocates that an organization should be viewed as a socio-technical system consisting of people, task, technology, culture, and structure. An organization is an open system that has the capacity to adjust itself to the changing environment. The goals of an organization change is response to the changes in organization or in its environment. The organization must change as system to stay in tune with the goals. In a tall hierarchy with a high degree of centralization, the MIS should give control information to the higher master. If the organization is structured on a functional basis, then the MIS should have a functional design. If the organization works on standardized system where rules, policies, systems, and procedures have been laid down, then they become a part of the MIS. MIS as design assisting tool. Simon's model divides decision making into three phases: intelligence, design, and choice. In the intelligence phase, potential problems and opportunities are identified. In the design phase, alternate solution to the problem is developed. And in the choice stage, a course of action is reflected. The decision can be made using a rule, procedure, or quantitative method. Such problems are known as structured problems. For example, an organization may decide to place a purchase order of every purchase requisition without worrying about merging them. Each decision can be easily programmed. The organization may have a fixed reorder point and fixed reorder quantity irrespective of demand. Automated systems such as transaction processing system and MIS are often used to handle programmed decisions. Such system generates reports for the concerned people so that they can take action. The decision taken is known as programmed decision. If the problem is unstructured, the solution cannot be arrived at using a set of rules or procedures. The rules and procedures at best can help in identifying alternatives. An information system that assists decision maker in making a non-programmed decision is referred to as decision support system, what we call as DSS. A decision support system usually has large amount of data that is managed by database master system. The DSS presents various views of data to the decision maker to facilitate decision making. Ideally, one would like to have a DSS to help in decision making in every situation. So far, no DSS has come close to being so general, perfect, and useful at the same time. A DSS in practice is developed for assisting in decision making process for specific problems. Now, we move to Unit 6, which is related to information system, economics, and security. Data, information, knowledge. Information has been defined as data that have been put into a meaningful and useful context and communicated to a recipient who used to make decisions. It reduces uncertainty, reveals additional alternatives, or helps eliminate irrelevant or poor ones. The information makes a person more knowledgeable. Knowledge is an awareness and understanding of a set of information that helps in decision making. Knowledge makes a person wise. The sequence is the following: data is processed to get information. Information makes a person knowledgeable. Knowledge so created adds to the wisdom, which is abbreviated as DIKW. This is the relationship between DIKW, that is data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. The information should have certain characteristics to be valuable to its recipient. These characteristics vary from being accurate to secure. If information is not accurate, the decision maker may not rely on the information. The situation becomes worse if the recipient of the information is not aware of its inadequacy. The following is a comprehensive list of desired characteristics. That is, it should be accurate, complete, economical, its flexibility, reliable and verifiable, relevant, simple, and accessible and secure. You can see data goes from through the processor and it is converted into an information. Then what is data lifecycle? Retrieved data may be converted or reproduced to different form of presentation formats. by way of documents, reports, etc. Data are also constantly transported to the user in processed form. It is transferred to storage form, the source, then processed and passed on to the user, who again returns it to the storage after working on it, which becomes available for further retrieval. The randomly accumulated data has to be stored and classified to reveal appropriate information. For example, sales data can be classified product wise, territory wise, salesperson wise, etc., as it is required. Such a classification will give the sales data more meaning. Processing of data might entail quite a bit of manipulation and calculations involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc., based on certain formulae. Computations might have to be performed for delivering employees' pay, customers' bill, financial ratios, hospital bills, insurance claims, etc. Data stored must be utilized on some occasion by someone at some point of time. Otherwise, there is no point of storing it. When data is finally put in a usable form, it can be retrieved and turned into information at appropriate time for decision making. It is important to destroy data following its evaluation for use in future. Destruction or purging of data records may be accomplished on a purely routine basis following one-time use or may occur in review of old records. This is done by following the organization's policy. Destruction is the terminal stage or the end of the data life cycle. Value and cost of information. The value of information is measured in terms of benefits to the organization. The benefits may be tangible, that can be easily quantified. Sometimes the benefits may be intangible and cannot be easily quantified. For using information to its advantage, organization develops an information system. However, before developing the system, a cost benefit analysis is done to figure out net benefit of the system. There are many methods to assess values of information system. The most common are cost benefit analysis, which ident- under which identification of IT cost is there. It can be direct cost, indirect human cost, indirect organizational cost. Then comes return on investment, that is ROI, earning growth, market share, customer awareness and satisfaction. Now we move to ethics in information society and right to information. While using information system, everyone is supposed to follow ethics to refrain from committing crimes by unauthorized use, as unethical use could be devastating for the organization. To control such unauthorized use, countries have predefined rules to be followed mandatorily. India, being a leader in IT industry, has IT Act, which came up in the year 2000. It is widely known as IT Act 2000. With the increase in use of IT, whenever felt necessary, the Government of India issues guidelines through modifications in IT Act. In February 2021, by modifying the IT Rule 2000 and 2011, intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code were notified. If a person accesses some data without proper authorization, then the person is held responsible and could be punished. The information system and their impact must be audited, and users must be aware of the risk involved. Privacy is an important social issue involved in information society. Privacy deals with the collection and use or misuse of data. Today, there is not even a single organization not using IT. Customers' data is constantly being collected and stored. This data is often distributed, sold, or used without our knowledge. With Right to Information Act, which came up in 2005, the government office empowered citizens by giving right to be informed about the activities of the government. As informed citizen is better equipped to keep access and vision of governments. This act, known as RTI Act, has further amendments provided rules and control. This act is very useful because of digitization nationwide. Internet, with the continuous developments in IT and digitization, has made information flow very high. Doing online business using IT, that is e-commerce, generates lots of data. IT Act has made e-commerce more adaptive and useful. Privacy of IT consumers and electronic documents created require a comprehensive mechanism to check and control, protecting computer resources and disaster crimes involving illegal system access and use of computer services, network, smart devices used over internet has increased. Hackers make use of their knowledge to gain access to others' system. An intruder may alter the data or destroy the data or may even have full control of the system, making them unusable and useless just by writing a small program. To have a control over such intrusion and malpractices, organizations use various methods. For personal identification, use of biometrics like fingerprints, iris, retina scan, face recognition are popular apart from the legacy system of user ID and password. One-time password, that is OTP, is also used in business. For example, a bank may use OTP for each transaction by its customer. OTP is sent to the registered user once the transaction is completed. If incorrectly entered, banking system will not allow to move further. Proper access mechanism should be in place with good security devices like firewall, intrusion detection, and protection system, etc. In both in terms of both hardware and software security solutions. One of the best stops of disaster planning is to identify threats. After identifying the threats, appropriate disaster recovery plans for computer resources should be implemented. Hardware backup. In case of natural disaster or due to technology failure, the hardware may become unusable. There are companies and firms that provide disaster recovery services. A company may provide a backup system that would be used in case the primary section fails. With cloud facility over internet, backup systems has become very easy to maintain. Then comes your software backup. Software programs are precious assets of an organization that must be protected. A human error may delete a software package or a hardware failure may make it inaccessible. A simple strategy is to make copies of software and keep them safely. In addition, one may like to keep another copy of site in a safe environment. And virus protection. Computer viruses, sometimes known as malware, comes in many different forms. Till 2020, there were an incredible 350,000 new pieces of malware, each one being a single piece of instruction software. Viruses can find their way onto just about any device, from computers, smartphones to network of an organization. A virus reproduces itself. usually without your permission or knowledge. Many viruses do unpleasant things, such as deleting files or changing random data on your disk, simulating typos, or merely slowing your systems down. Some viruses infect other programs each time they are executed. Other viruses infect only upon a certain trigger. Viruses often delay relieving their presence by launching their attack only after they had ample opportunity to spread. This means the attack could be delayed for days, weeks, months, or even years after the initial infection. However, viruses are only one way your data can be damaged. You must be prepared for all threats, many of which are more likely to strike than viruses such as storage failure due to hardware problem. All software and data resides in storage. There are large number of virus types. The most common computer viruses are characterized as macrovirus. This type of virus is normally found in Microsoft Word and Excel files. This virus increases the size of file when it infects them, attaching its own generated codes. Once a macrovirus infects a file, it can easily spread to other computers when that file is shared. For example, via email or copied through storage media. Boot sector virus. This is the oldest virus affecting the startup of boot process. Back in 90s, these viruses were spread through floppy disks. Nowadays, they attach themselves to ESP or USB sticks. If your computer catches one of these, you will need to carry out a full system reformat. Trojan horses used by cyber criminals. Trojan horses are discussed as normal programs tempting you to install them on your computer. Once installed, the virus gains access to your computer files and capture your private data. Think passwords and online banking information. Override viruses. These viruses typically take over a file and wipe the original code without you even knowing it. Once deleted, the original files cannot be recovered and the data is lost. They often spread through emails, via attachments, or through files, downloads on the internet. Browser hijacker. This virus attack hijacks your internet searches and redirects you to page you didn't even want to visit. While not as harmful as other types of viruses, they trick you rather than steal from you. Browser hijackers are still an annoying problem since they significantly lower your system when surfing the internet. Cybercrime and cybersecurity. With internet empowering the huge base of population globally, cyber crimes have emerged as big threat to individuals and organizations. Cybercrime is a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer network, or a network device. Such activities are carried out by individuals or organizations. Type of cybercrime may involve fraud with individuals' email, phishing and sending spam mails, personal or corporate data stealing, and using cyber extortion and ransomware attacks, cyber spying to access government or company data, etc. Cyber criminals uses viruses and malware to commit such crimes, including denial of service, DOS attack. Cybersecurity is the application of technologies, processes, and controls to protect system, network programs, devices, and data from cyber attacks. It is to be noted that information security deals with protecting the integrity and privacy of data, both in storage and in transit. Cyber security is required as a secret weapon against cyber criminals with the aim to reduce the risk of cyber attacks and protect against the unauthorized exploitation of systems, networks, and other such resources. Since it is applicable to all working online through internet, governments have made it mandatory for the organizations in their country to have sufficient control mechanism deployed. Cybercrime cells are also available for individuals and organizations to lodge complaints at governmental level. There are many organizations which provide cybersecurity as a service. They provide complete solutions to mitigate and resolve issues related to cyber crimes. In accordance with the IT rules, the Computer Emergency Response Team of India, that is CERT-IN, came into existence in 2004 in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. It is operational since 2004 January. CERT-IN is the nodal agency responsible for collection, analysis, and dissemination of information on cyber incidents and taking emergency measures to contain such incidents. Now, we move on to Unit 7, that is Transaction Processing System, DSS and EIS. Now, we will discuss how we get information from data. Information is defined as the processed form of statistical data. It is important to note that information and data are different to cannot, but they are interrelated. The raw data collected from any phenomena may be used to generate the required information. While processing the data for the information, one needs to keep the following in mind. Data should be accurate, data should be relevant, data should be complete, and data should be time sensitive. Information processing from the raw data can be represented as information funnel. Procurement of correct information in right time is one of the important aspects for business decisions. Having the right information in hand, business organizations can be proactive in its activities to maximize the business profit. Information from data is generated by going into different stages in the process. They could be stated as summarizing, data trimming or mining, presentation, and indexing. Data collected for want of information are usually available in the form of questionnaire, schedules, notes, or the official unclassified formats. There could be secondary data as well from the web. Data trimming is the condensation or consolidation of statistical data for retrieving information. There are specific statistical data reduction tools for trimming the data. Depending upon the nature of the data and the objectives of the study, the tools are decided. The results obtained after data trimming needs to be related to the objectives for the meaningful representation. The process of depicting the statistical results in the desired form, it can be charts, diagrams, systematic representation, etc., is called presentation. Indexing or codification of the result is required for further processing of information like storage and retrieval, modification, converting into electronic mode for communication, etc. The codification is based for presenting the information on web pages. In the internet search, the codes are recognized by the computer at a greater speed to retrieve them from the data dictionary or catalog. What are the types of information? Information retrieved from raw data could be classified in different categories as facts, assumptions, collateral information, fragmentary information, and irrelevant information. The manager responsible for taking decisions required sufficient information from the relevant records available with the organization, and if need be from web also. The term information means collection of facts from which business decisions can be drawn. Facts and figures collected will enable the company to go for a valid decision. Information system in master. Information handling in an organization should be systematic process. Generally, systems are created to solve problems. One can think of system approach as an organized way of dealing with a problem. A collection of components that work together to realize some objective forms a system. Basically, there are three major components in every system, namely input, processing, and output. In business information processing system, input is received as data and instructions. Processing is done under defined instructions, and then output is generated. The inputs to the system may be from a data file, internet source, or manual feed. The manager should be well aware of information systems because the amount to be spent on the information should have positive effect on profit making. It increases business awareness, promotes business re-engineering, and enables total quality master to the managers. If the managers are not acquainted with the information system, significant amount will be wasted on automating ineffective process, or at the extreme, the companies can fail as a result of poor master. Some of the important implications about the IS deployment and master on information are as follows. Information system will contribute substantially to the managers in their effective decision making to achieve the organizational objectives. Information system will enrich the organization to meet the competitive challenges. Adequate knowledge from the past experience will help the managers to integrate the business strategy. Information system will provide sufficient awareness about the external components to react accordingly. And information system is required to take right decision in right time. Some of the important implications about information masters are: if the information is conceptualized as a process, it can be integrated into strategy information. Information master should account the information as an object and as a construct. It has a role in enhancing the information capabilities of the individuals in organizations. Almost all managerial activities have an information component. So, information master practice should be responsive to the needs of managers as information users and as information procedures or knowledge creators. The importance of information in master is further emphasized by the fact that much of the master is primarily decision making. While there are several views of what constitute master, the generally accepted planning, organizing, coordinating, directing, and control are all concerned with decision making. So several master functions, areas of master are personnel, marketing, production, finance, and services will be significantly influenced by the information system that are to be implemented in an organization. Information once acquired need to be communicated promptly to various departments as per their requirement. Operational decision deals with a large volume of internal data. The middle master is concerned with medium range or tactical decisions required for much less information. The top master being concerned with long term or strategic decision requires for just a few vital internal information but a lot of external information. Typical example of the three levels of information among the functional areas of master can be represented with the help of a pyramid structure. This is how the information system and management levels are linked together. At the top, it is the strategical, the middle, it is the tactical, and the bottom level is the operational. Decision support system DSS is basically required at the top level. Transaction processing system is required at the middle level, and office automation system is required at the operational level. All the four major areas of master are interrelated, creating a master database comprising of the activities of the organization, irrespective of the specific area, is a must. The master database created should be flexible to have the following features. It can distribute and share the data on network, normalized to accept the unique characteristics, capable of automatic updating, and quick query. Here we can see how the four departments of the organization are interrelated and what are their activities, what are their jobs, what they are supposed to do. And all it is creation of centralized database for various functional areas application. A typical role of example of role of information system for the important areas of functional master at different level of decision making is shown here. We're talking about four departments: production, finance, personnel, marketing, and they are responsible for three different activities: strategic, tactical, and operational, which is on daily basis. Here we can see how they are related among themselves. Information system in functional areas and decision making. We talk about marketing. So for marketing, the term marketing, as per the American Marketing Association, is defined as the process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion and distribution of area ideas, goods and services to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives. Marketing function facilitates the activities mostly related to forecasting and sales planning, market research, advertising, and operation and control of information required for market. This is what this information is available, is collected. The data is used, what are the tools used, and what is the output we get. Marketing research. If we talk about the inputs, it is based on external data collected from the industry, primarily constituting sales performance, analysis of a variety of brands in various market segments of various companies, industrial infrastructure, marketing, production strength and weaknesses, industrial advertising drive and impact, industrial pricing policy and consequences, infrastructure budgets, price of product and sales figure, infrastructure budgets. We talk about the outputs, intensive reports on industry-wide sales performance, inferences of result compared to forecast with respect to past marketing strategy advertising and pricing policies, reviewing of marketing strategy, advertising and pricing policies, market share of the company. Now we move on to marketing planning. As far as inputs are concerned, it is summarized data from the market research, and its output will be review of sales forecast, product mix strategic reports, market mix strategic reports. Then comes your sales analysis. If we talk about the input, sales data by region, product, personal in terms of value and quantity. Projected sales data by region, product, personal for comparison with the actual sales. Sales data customer wise with the transaction data for invoicing system. And if we talk about outputs, sales report, region, product, personal in terms of value and quantity. Variance analysis on actual sales versus projected sales. Marketing control inputs are sales data of various products of a company, marketing expense data, summarized output sales analysis constituting of sales performance data, personal, region, or product wise, sales transaction data from invoicing and sales system, output, variance analysis, age analysis, tactical reports on desirable and undesirable trends. For financial master system, the input to the system will be cash vouchers, bank vouchers, sales vouchers, purchase vouchers, and journal vouchers. And output will be the output expected from the systems are account books like cash book, bank book, sales book, etc. Trial balance, trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet, accounts receivable statement, and account payable statements. All these are generated. Then comes your DSS and EIS. DSS stands for Decision Support System. It is a software which supports an organization in taking decisions. Executive Information System, that is EIS, is a data-driven DSS which is intended to provide business intelligence to middle and senior level managers. In both the systems, decision-making process is involved. With the understanding of decision-making process, DSS can be defined as the system that supports the decision-making. There are various definitions of DSS that links to information retrieval with the help of computers to use information to support managers. Different definition points that decision support systems are information systems. Decision systems are used by managers. Decision support systems are used in making decisions. They are used to support, not to replace people. Decision support systems are used when the decision is semi-structured or unstructured. Decision support system incorporate a database of some sort, and decision support systems incorporate models. Executive information system is a support system for executives of an organization, as it is a kind of decision support system used in organization to help executives in decision making. It does so by providing easy access to important data needed in any organization to achieve strategy. It is used for monitoring organization performance and also for identifying opportunities and problems. The key characteristics of EIS are detailed data. EIS provides absolute data from its existing database. Integrate external and internal data. EIS integrates internal and external data which is collected, and the external data is collected from the various sources. Presentation information. It represents available data in graphical form, which helps to analyze it easily. Trend analysis. It helps executives of the organization to data prediction based on trend data. What is the differences between MIS, DSS, and EIS? DSS generally provides support for unstructured or semi-structured decisions that cannot be described in detail. DSS problems are often characterized by incomplete or uncertain knowledge or the use of qualitative data. DSS will often include modeling tools in them where various alternative scenarios can be modeled and compared. Investment decisions are example of those that might be supported by DSS. MIS is generally more sophisticated reporting system built on existing transaction processing systems, often used to support structured decision making, typically will support tactical level master, but sometimes are used at other levels also. Examples of structured decisions supported by MIS might include deciding on stock levels or the pricing of a product. EIS supports a range of decision making, but more often than not, this tends to be unstructured. EIS supports the executive level of master, often used to formulate high level strategic decision impacting on the direction of the organization. Now, we move to Unit 10, which is System Analysis and Design. Here we will see the application, software development, and customization. Information system is an arrangement of people, data, processes, information, presentation, and information technology that interacts to support and improve day-to-day operations of a business as well as support the problem solving and decision making needs of masters and users. Information system is categorized as application software. It can be a standalone module, that is, subsystem, or an integrated system to automate processes in the organization. Software is developed using computer languages. This process is also known as coding. Development of software is either done by internal team or it can be developed by an IT service provider as decided by the organization. Similar like constructing a building, the software development undergoes several well-defined steps like requirements, gathering, doing analysis for the cost involved, and readiness to adopt the new system, doing analysis for internal and intra-process relationships, preparing designs, coding and testing of the developed software, installation of the software, and finally putting the software into practice by imparting all necessary and sufficient training to users for making it sustainable. We are aware of the concept of integrated applications with example like ERP, SCM, CRM, etc. These softwares are not developed again and again by organization for business automation. Rather, they are developed by IT companies in such a way that the produced systems become generic. They can be further changed to suit the requirements of the organization globally. Software tools are available to make such applications software. The process of making changes in already developed application software is called customization. System Development Lifecycle, SDLC. The system lifecycle is the oldest method for building information system and it's still used today for complex, medium, or large system projects. This methodology assumes that an information system has a life cycle similar to that of any living organism, with the beginning, middle, and an end. This is known as the System Development Life Cycle, SDLC. The traditional system life cycle divides project mainly into four steps, each of which has distinct deliverables such as computer program, standard operating procedures, or design documents. The four steps in traditional SDLC are initiation, development, implementation, and operations and maintenance. The traditional system lifecycle is tightly controlled approach designed to reduce the likelihood of mistakes or omissions. Despite its compelling logic, it has both advantages and disadvantages. Adherence to fixed deliverables and sign-offs improves control but guarantees a lengthy process. Having specific derivable dues at specific times makes the schedule of deliverables. However, the traditional SDLC is the standard against which other approaches are compared. Project managers who want to bypass some of the steps still need a way to deal with the issues they raise. SDLC is a standard methodology for the development of information system. Traditional SDLC was strictly sequential. The software developers have to first complete the various phases, then start the next phase. But now, concept of repository is introduced in SDLC, and it is known as fast SDLC methodology, where work is done across shared repository. It means that all the inputs and outputs of the phases must be stored in the repository. Repository is thus defined as data source of accumulated system knowledge. That is, system models, detailed specifications, and any other documentation that has been accumulated during the system's development. This knowledge is reusable and critical to the production system. Ongoing support. The repository is implemented with various automated tools and is often centralized as an expert enterprise, business, and IT source. Every custom software producer will have its own specific detailed lifecycle or system development methodology. Even if a particular methodology does not look like cycle, you will discover that many of SDLC steps are performed. SDLC techniques and tools are used. This model resembles a staircase with arrow connecting each step to the step before and to the step after that. This representation of the system development life cycle is sometimes referred to as waterfall model. Here you can see that how what are the different phases of system development life cycle. Starts from projection, initiation and planning, project identification, analysis, logical design, physical design, implementation, and operation and maintenance, and vice versa. SDLC consists of mainly seven phases. These phases are also called the SDLC steps or stages. These phases had already been discussed, that is project identification and selection, project initiation and planning, analysis, logical design, physical design, implementation, operations and maintenance. Project identification and selection, this is the first phase of in the SDLC, is called project identification and selection. In this phase, the user identifies the need of a new or improved system. This phase stage tries to answer the questions: what do we, why do we need a new system? and what to do, what do we want to accomplish. This stage determines whether the organization has a problem and whether that problem can be solved by building a new information system or by modifying an existing one. If a system project is called for this stage identification, its general objectives, specific the scope of the project, and develops a project plan that can be shown to the master. In large organizations, this identification may be a part of system planning process. Information requirements of the organization as a whole are examined, and projects to meet these requirements are proactively identified. The organization's information system requirements may result from requests to deal with problems in the current system's procedures, from the desire to perform additional tasks, or from realization that information technology could be used to capitalize on existing opportunity. These needs can then be prioritized and translated into a plan for the information system department, including a schedule for developing a new major system. The outcome of the project identification and selection process is a determination of which system development projects should be undertaken by the organization, at least in terms of an initial study. Then comes project initiation and planning. With this, we will be concluding today's session, and we will be continuing further from project initiation and planning in our next session.